Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
I mean, they're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Philadelphia 76ers, who are the second best team in this Eastern Conference by a mile when Joel Embiid is healthy. That's just what they are. So now, if Giannis isn't available, the Bucks would be dogs in the series.
He ain't sleeping on that air mattress anymore. He's got a regular king-size bed, a posturepedic, whatever they call it, a Sealy's, whatever they do, those things. He ready to roll. Denominating tonight.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast.
Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money.
It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
And we are back. Ferrall Coast to Coast, hour number 2 here on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. Carver High and Cam Stewart in for Scotty. Very big hour ahead. We've got Coach Young later with the Lion's Share. We have got Davis Maddock coming up as well. I think we have Smiley this hour too, right, Mafi?
Yep.
Yes, I believe Smiley is in this hour as well. And we've got the hockey that we have to go through as well. Cam, quickly, they are finished in the Bronx today. 2-0, the A's beat the Yankees. Another lifeless performance from the Yankee Bats, who have been shut out twice in the past 3 days. As somebody by the name of Zach Geloff hit the 2-run homer for the A's in the top of the 9th inning. That's right. Your boy Zach
Geloff, yeah.
Geloff hit the 2-run homer. Honestly, losing at home to the A's, that's a tough scene for the Yanks. I don't hear them planning that parade down the Canyon of Heroes anymore like they were about a week and a half ago. I saw that suddenly come to a screeching halt.
Great pitching performance.
Sears, JP Sears and Roebuck pitching great today.
Open up the Sears. Yes. I bought my bet from Sears 15 years ago.
Nice job. And the other thing I did not get to mention to you yet, and I actually was going to mention this at the start of the last hour, was that the Jets did trade Zach Wilson to the Denver Broncos. So that long nightmare in the New York area is over for Jet fans. He goes to Denver, where he'll be, I guess, in the mix with Jarrett Stidham and whoever they draft. If they are going to, maybe they want to go with Zach Wilson. I'm sure they're going to draft somebody at some point this weekend. But Zach Wilson out of New York, probably the best thing that ever happened to him.
I agree. I don't think his career's over yet, Carver. I just think he needs to get out of New York, start again, closer to BYU where he went to school and I just, you know what? Just part 2. I know this kid he makes mistakes, but he's also a very good athlete. What's Denver got to lose? Look at the losers that they got there. You know what? It's fine. I actually like the move. Give him a break.
Give him a break. Hockey now, Cam. Last night we had a bunch of game 1s. Of course, we have 2 game 2s tonight and 2 more game 1s, as we still have 2 series in the Western Conference that have not gotten going yet. we will finally see Dallas and Vegas play. Mark Stone is going to play for Vegas. And we have LA and Edmonton who get together once again in the first round. But here's a few things from last night first. I did not have the Jets and the Avalanche as being the wild, high-scoring game of the weekend, Cam. But sure enough, that is exactly what you got last night in Winnipeg, 7-6. Jets beat Colorado. Broncos missed the extra point. Kyle Connor with a pair of goals. Here's the second one on Sportsnet.
Top of the puck, he'll get it to center. I could have knocked it down, would have been a high stick. Dillon up with it. Brendan Dillon clears it out. And now Kyle Connor with a hot shot that sails over the net. Scheifele on it back down in front. Connor scores! Connor, second of the night. 7 for Winnipeg.
And you know, Cam, the weird part is that it's not like Winnipeg was, peppering them with shots and dominating the game. I mean, it was like 7 goals on 14 shots on Jordan. Like, it was ugly for him before he got the hook. So really bad for Georgiev in that first game.
Oh, I got to tell you, too, and let's give props to Lowry, the captain of Winnipeg. He outplayed, he's against McKinnon. He scored 2 goals. McKinnon got 1. It's not like he shut down McKinnon, but Connor was good. He was good. Hellebuck, some of those goals were almost impossible to stop, and that's a dangerous game you play, Winnipeg. I thought you want to play a tighter game against Colorado, but you got it done, and that was obviously, Carver, that was the best game of the playoffs so far. That was fantastic to watch. No lead was safe. I really enjoyed it.
And they did leave Georgiev out there, Cam. I missed for the entire thing.
Yeah,
he had 7 goals allowed on 23 shots. He only made 16 saves. It's not often that you could show up to game 2 with a .696 save percentage, which is precisely what Georgiev is going to do for game 2 in the Peg. So a very tough scene there. Next, let's go to Vancouver. Canucks beat the Preds 4-2 last night. 2-1 game going into the third period. Nashville playing a great playoff road game. Unfortunately for them, Cam, things came apart rather quickly on ESPN.
So he said, we've got to find that normalcy.
Besser speeding ahead with Suter. Besser shot. Missed the net. Back around toward Besser, the 40-goal scorer this year. Hughes from the line. What time? The 24-year-old captain leading the Pacific Division champions. Now work net front. They score! Dakota Joshua and the Canucks lead.
2 goals, Cam, in the span of 12 seconds there, midway through the third. Gave him a 3-2 lead. They end up getting the empty netter, which we were talking about before. Empty netter to finish it off at 4-2 and cover the puck line. What a win if you had them, Cam.
Hey, Morency's at the game. He must have loved it. Nashville played almost a perfect game. That's the thing about hockey, Carver. You let go for 12 seconds, let alone a minute. Vancouver scores a couple of goals, changes the game right there. Nashville was playing a perfect road game until that third period. And, hey, man, that's the way. You got to play 60 full minutes or you're done. And that was a great hockey game.
Great hockey game. I thought it was excellent, and the Canucks end up getting it done. They take a 1-0 series lead there. Nashville will try again in game number 2. Rangers beat the Caps 4-1. Pretty ho-hum, Cam, to be quite honest with you, especially when if the Rangers are going to get goals from this guy Rempe, they're going to win in a sweep. And he scored he got the scoring going for the Rangers on ESPN yesterday.
Fox poked it to Ryan Lindgren. And now the 21-year-old rookie, Matt Rempe. Feel the energy on the crowd, in the crowd when he's on the ice. Vesey played it back. Out in front. They score! And it's Matt Rempe.
Look,
there he is.
We know the deal with him. And he has become, down here, Cam, I mean, they love him. The Ranger fans, he's like their new folk hero, this guy Rempe, for all the fights and everything that he did. And he gets the start there in game number 1, and he gives them a goal as well. And they took care of business from there. Panarin scored for them 4-1. It's going to be tough for the Capitals. Anytime you don't allow 3 or more goals to the Rangers in this series, Cam, they're finished. They can't play a goal for goal. They need to keep the game kind of like they did in the first period. Back and forth, no offense, shut down the neutral zone, don't let them get chances. That's the only way the Capitals have a prayer in this thing.
The Capitals used to pick on the Rangers, and now the Rangers have toughness. We could be. We're first of all, we're better offensively than you, and we're not. If Tom Wilson wants to come at you, we'll fight you. And the Rangers have superior goaltending. They have the edge in every category in this series. It's a sweep or 5 games at best. Capitals are toast.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't see, maybe at home they can get, like I said, they got to basically stretch a game into overtime and hope that they can catch one. That's kind of where I think the Capitals are going to be able to get things done. Panthers beat Tampa 3-2 as well. That was the first game of the day yesterday, early in the afternoon. I know Verhaeghe had the big goal for Florida early in the third period, which gave them that 2-1 lead, and they kind of got cruised from there. They got the empty netter. Stamkos did score, Cam, with 10 seconds left. Probably very unfortunate for people that had Florida on the puck line. That was an unfortunate goal.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Hey, here's the deal. We're looking at this right now, and you're telling me you're going to lay $4 with this team?
You tell me. That's the series right there. That's the series price, Cam. I'll give
me Tampa Bay plus 310. I'm going to pull a Joe Lisi.
Tampa plus 310.
Let's go. I don't care. That game was so damn tight, and you're giving me the Lightning at plus 310? Come on, man. I'm in.
I'm with you here, Cam. I think that's a little too much. And I know they love Florida. The books love Florida with what they did last year. And that's a lot. And they didn't get blown out yesterday, and they were the best team in hockey the last 6 weeks of the regular season. 310's a real good number. Only one game into the series for Tampa Bay. And I'm with you. We should go for that. All right, we'll come back. Ferrall, coast to coast on a Monday. Smiley Kaufman on a Monday. How about that after Scheffler dominates again?
The Bostonian versus the book.
You're not going to get the Tiger Woods size audience because do you know where they went? They went to Caitlin Clark. That's where those people went. What? Those people are now going to the WNBA. Yeah. The fan that only watches what's hot, the fan, the casual who doesn't really like sports but likes to be involved in the in thing, they're watching
cooler discussion.
They're watching Caitlin Clark.
The Bostonian versus the book.
So I turned it off. I got my sweat done, and I'm leaving. I'm taking my money. I'm going home, and I don't want to talk to you the rest.
Oh, yes!
There it is.
6-3. Catch the over. The over is hit. The Padres are our heroes.
That's how we end the show.
Oh, well, let's just sign off. Let's just call it a show.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year.
Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
He just tossed an air ball, like in a critical. You're up by 2 with 20 seconds left. He said, give me the ball up LeBron James, and he tossed an air ball. And there was AD under the bucket fighting everybody, and he ends up going to the free throw line.
They used Tavares as a friggin' pinata tonight. Dude, I know you're old, but get it together. This is your last run at something, man. This is your career, bro. Don't go out like this. Oh, it's hard watching this.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
And we are back, Ferrall, coast to coast here on a Monday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. Of course, every week we have our man Smiley Kaufman with us, the Smiley Show right here on SportsGrid. And a day early this week, Smiley's got a big trip this week, so we get him in on a Monday. I've heard about this trip, too. I heard the guys on SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio talking about what Smiley's got cooking this week. So have some fun out there. Where are you going? Which spot are you playing this week, Smiley?
Hey, what's up, Mike? Yeah, I'm heading to Pine Valley tomorrow, actually.
There you go.
First time playing it, so really excited. Down here at some buddy's house down here in South Florida. We got JT, Rick, and a bunch of guys heading up, so really excited.
Good. Have a good time. Have a blast. Hit him good. Let's start, of course, with Scotty. I talked to you the last couple of weeks, and he just keeps rolling through. Every week, Scotty wins. Does it again. You can. There were so many names who were on that board yesterday that you thought maybe they get hot like Scotty did on Saturday and shoot 6 under, 7 under, and they can go by him. But it just doesn't happen. Weather gets involved. It doesn't matter. Puts the tartan jacket on. Guy wins every week, Smiley. It never ends.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable, right? I think just the run he's on. I mean, the golf courses he's won on too, just all demanded a totally different type of player, and he's been able to say, you know what, my game fits everywhere. To win at Bay Hill and to win at Augusta and really almost winning at Houston, Hilton Head, and then the Players Championship, which really you just have to be on that week. It's just a very always an interesting leaderboard there. But yeah, it's incredible. His strokes gain numbers just from an analytics standpoint it's just kind of dumb, really. He's entered territory that's Tiger Woods territory as far as just the how well he's hitting at tee to green. It just makes you feel like on Sundays, Mike, and maybe this is kind of what's been going on, is that everybody feels like they have to play perfect golf to go and beat him. And that's where you've seen the last, at least this stretch, you've just seen guys make mistakes on Sundays, maybe trying a little too hard, knowing that Scotty's not going to make too many mistakes.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like right now. And I at least get to catch a little bit of a break for the next few weeks, I suppose. I guess that's good for everybody else. They get a chance to maybe win here. We got the Zurich this week. You've got the CJ Cup after that. Maybe we won't see him again until the PGA Championship. So gives the rest of the guys a little chance. Now, have a break, like let's say maybe his wife has the baby, somebody he doesn't play again until Valhalla. I mean, would you really expect him to not show up there and dominate as well, or do you think a few weeks off would be an issue for him?
We had this conversation this morning today on the Smiley Show just about when we are going to see him next. I think it's pretty debatable whether we'll actually see him at Wells Fargo, which is the week after the Byron Nelson. And I really don't think we're going to see him until Valhalla. And why, he's got nothing to prove. He's besides having your first child. I mean, anybody that's done it, they know that chair, it ain't very comfortable, and your body's not going to be very good for a couple of weeks after that. So the only thing that could stop Scotty right now, it seems like maybe just the old dad back of the constant up and down and changing diapers and getting out of the bassinet. That's, he's been so good mentally. And I think that to me is why he's been winning so much, just his mental fortitude and just the process he's been running of never really making mistakes and just always keeping momentum in his rounds. So that would be the one thing you'd have to look at when it comes to winning against the world's best. We're not going to doubt that he's not going to show up in some type of form, but it's the mental side of the game of being away that many weeks and really just so disconnected probably from tournament golf after 3 weeks off. That's the only thing going into Valhalla where I'm thinking, am I going to doubt Scotty at this point? I definitely not going to do it, but I'm definitely going to look at other options as well as players that I think would be really good fits at Valhalla.
Remember, you guys are out of one and dones for Scotty now. So no more one and done. You're out of one and dones with Scotty, so you can't go back to him.
We didn't know what to do this week. We both picked terrible picks. I had Tommy Fleetwood, he had Cam Davis, and I think we just felt like our hands were tied and that nobody else was going to play good besides Scotty. I don't know. We need to do better this week at the Zurich.
We have the Zurich this week, and I kind of like this, Scotty. I know, Smiley, I know that some people kind of don't really enjoy this tournament. I think it's something different. I don't like that they got rid of the match play tournament either that they used to have. It's just, we love every week watching, but it's just a different feel with the team aspect of it. And for this year, you actually I'm surprised, you got Rory playing there this week, which the people down at the Zurich in New Orleans, they must love that they have Rory down there.
Yeah, no, and I think you make a great point too. I think the PGA Tour in this transition period, I think losing the match play, an event that was a fan favorite throughout, any person you ask them what their favorite events were, they probably say the majors, and they say, "Oh, I love watching the match play too." And I was the same way. It seemed all day they're just, you had some of the best players going head to head, and you felt like every match mattered. I think that is what people turn on the TV on Sunday afternoons, is to watch the back nine to see who's going to win. And I think that's what the cool thing about match play is you get that on a Wednesday during the week. And to your point about the Zurich Classic, yeah, it just adds a different flavor to what we see week in and week out. Has it gotten a little bit stale for the players? I think so. I'm surprised to see really Rory being there this week. And the Zurich Classic was my favorite week of the year, being an LSU guy. But I think just the way it is, as far as like the diluted points and just being kind of in a weird spot in the schedule, the field is surprisingly a little better than I thought it was going to be. But you can't beat playing with your friends either.
No, you can't beat that. You got Willie Z with Sahith. You've got the Fitzpatrick brothers playing together. The Canadian guys have all gotten together. You probably want to gravitate to, and we got 30 seconds left, Smiley, guys who are either brothers or tight, and not just the guys who just met each other this week and they're thrown together. You want to go towards those guys.
Yeah, that's what Charlie and I said today is pick guys who played together before, pick the brothers. My pick was Bo Hostler and Wyndham Park. So I took Bo. That's my one and done. So we'll see. I kind of like.
Let's go, baby. Smiley, great job as always. Enjoy yourself this week. We'll see you back next week. Smiley Kaufman, the Smiley Show, right here on SportsGrid. We're back after.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
You're not going to get the Tiger Woods size audience. Because do you know where they went? They went to Caitlin Clark. That's where those people went. What? Those people are now going to the WNBA. Yeah. The fan that only watches what's hot, the fan, the casual who doesn't really like sports but likes to be involved in the in thing, they're watching
cooler discussion.
They're watching Caitlin Clark.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
So I turned it off. I got my sweat done, and I'm leaving. I'm taking my money. I'm going home, and I don't want to talk to you the rest.
Oh, yes!
There it is.
6-3. Catch the over. The over is hit. The Padres are our heroes.
That's how we end the show. That's how we end the show.
Oh, well, let's just sign off. Let's just call it a show.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year.
Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
He just tossed an air ball, like in a critical. You're up by 2 with 20 seconds left. He said, give me the ball, up LeBron James, and he tossed an air ball. And there was AD under the bucket fighting everybody, and he ends up going to the free throw line.
They use Tavares as a friggin' pinata tonight. Dude, I know you're old, but get it together. This is your last run at something, man. This is your career, bro. Don't go out like this. Oh, it's hard watching this.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
And we are back, Ferrall, coast to coast here on a Monday. Carver High and the Prime Minister, Cam Stewart, in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you with us. I'll let you know, Cam, Smiley likes Bo Hostler this week, who's with He's actually with Sam Riders on the Storm, one of our favorites, is who he is with over at the Zurich for the teams. He's got a lot of brothers this week too, Cam. Because I don't think me and you are going to get to do our normal Wednesday this week because Scotty's on the rest of the week. But I know there's a lot of brothers, and all the Canadians have gotten together as well, Cam.
Oh,
Pendrith is playing with Connors. Yeah. And Nick Taylor's playing with who's the other one, Cam, that shows up all the time? Yes,
Svensson?
Hadwin and Nick Taylor are playing together. Yep. In fact, Hadwin, he should buy Hadwin dinner all week, right? Isn't Hadwin the one who got tackled down when Nick Taylor won the Canadian Open? He got smashed by the security guard during his celebration.
Taylor should take care of Hadwin for a long time. But I got to tell you, those other guys played pretty well during Pendrith played well when Billy Horschel won that tournament. He was on page one. So that's a good team, Connors and Pendrith, because Pendrith murders the ball and Connors is pretty steady.
Your boy Horschel's playing with Tyson Chicken this week. Tyson Alexander's playing with Billy Horschel at a 50-1 price. So there you go. Rory's with the Irish Bear, Cantlay and Schauffele. Willie Z is playing with Sahith.
Oh, I like that.
Morikawa's playing with Kitayama. And then you have, here's our bet, Cam. The Højgaard brothers are playing together. Rasmus and Nikolai.
Boy.
The Højgaard brothers at 22-1. That's our play for the Zurich.
Denmark.
We'll get the
USA,
North,
Canada, and Denmark relations.
Get the
Let's
Danes
go.
in there.
Yes. The Danes.
Let me give you the rest of those series. I gave you already Tampa, which is going to be plus 375 as we saw. But how about the other ones? Rangers are now minus 1,000.
Oh.
The Caps are plus 650. So the books, like us, Cam, you know what they're saying? No shot. Just like we're saying. No shot.
Bye-bye, Capitals. I have the Rangers actually going pretty deep. But actually, it was so funny. I did a parlay. Rangers, Dallas, exact final. I have one with the Leafs, obviously, but it was 24-1. And Brentsy was telling me in the NHL poster or TV, whatever, those were the teams that they had. And they did it before in the Super Bowl, and it ended up, I'm not sure if it worked or not. But anyway, I like the Rangers to go pretty deep.
Winnipeg now has a 1-0 lead over Colorado in that series. That means that Winnipeg is now minus 165 for this series. Colorado plus $140 before game number 2.
I'm on Winnipeg, but that's value with Colorado if they can find ways to keep that offense.
If they can find ways. How about just stopping a couple pucks? That probably would have changed the game a lot. Just making a couple saves would have been okay for Georgiev. And Nashville and Vancouver are the other ones that we have. Minus 275 for the Canucks. I still think the Preds
Nashville's live.
are involved in this series. They played about as good a road playoff game as you could play for 2 periods last night. Just didn't get it done in the third. Plus 220 for them for a series that I think, Cam, has 6 or 7 games in it. Yes, thank you very much.
I agree 100%. Vancouver shouldn't be that high. I like Vancouver in 7, but if we grab Nashville at that price, we're in a nice situation if it does go to game 7. I can go head either way.
We are. Go either way, Cam. That's what we like to do around here. Put ourselves in some good positions to make some things happen. All right, later on, we will get into the games for tonight, including, we already know, Toronto and the Islanders lost on Saturday night. So me and you are looking for Toronto and the Islanders to kind of jump back in the mix here in these games. I thought the other night, Cam, I thought the Islanders, I think they played bad against Carolina. I really don't. It was unfortunate. They called a couple of pretty bad penalties. And I know that kind of probably sounds like complaining for me. Doesn't. But to be fair, I thought the call they made a minute into the game where Lee put his hand on Brady Shea's shoulder and he fell down like somebody hit him over the head with a cinder block from the top of the arena. I thought that was a little bit. I thought that was a little too.
That call was crap. It's because he's strong and he beat him to the puck and the guy falls down like he got shot.
Yeah,
give me a break.
It was an awful call.
Carolina gets a lot of calls.
I think Carolina knows what to do. I think that they're trying to get more calls because the Islander penalty kill is so embarrassing. So they're trying to, and they're embellishing in the meanwhile, and that's how they got their 2 goals, power play goals. All right, we'll come back. We'll get Coach Young in the mix. We'll get his picks for tonight on the Lion's Share. Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Monday. We're back after this.
He just tossed an air ball, like in a critical. You're up by 2 with 20 seconds left. He said, give me the ball, LeBron James, and he tossed an air ball. And there was AD under the bucket fighting everybody, and he ends up going to the free throw line.
They used Tavares as a friggin' pinata tonight. Dude, I know you're old, but get it together. This is your last run at something, man. This is your career, bro. Don't go out like this. Oh, it's hard watching this.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
So I turned it off. I got my sweat done, and I'm leaving. Taking my money. I'm going home, and I don't want to talk to you for the rest.
Oh, yes!
There it is.
6-3. Catch the over. The over is hit. The Padres are our heroes.
That's how we end the show.
Oh, what? Let's just sign off. Let's just call it a show.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
The Philadelphia 76ers, who are the second best team in this Eastern Conference by a mile when Joel Embiid is healthy. That's just what they are. So now, if Giannis isn't available, the Bucks would be dogs in the series.
He ain't sleeping on that air mattress anymore. He's got a regular king-size bed, a posturepedic, what do they call it? A Sealy's, whatever they do, those things. He ready to roll. Denominating tonight.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
I mean, they're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid. The brighter the lights, the bigger the stakes. Hunt or be hunted. Know your prey. This is a whole new jungle. This is The Lion's Share. Brought to you by BetMGM.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast on a Monday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you with us. BetMGM, they're doing it again. What do they got for you today? How about a 50% NBA SGP playoff parlay boost token? What? Are you kidding me? Got to have minimum 3+ legs plus 400 odds to be eligible for the boost token. You got to go to BetMGM mobile app or BetMGM.com for full details. Boost up that SGP tonight. We've got 3 games. Go get involved. 50%. They're always making it happen for you at BetMGM. And speaking of BetMGM, it is time for the Lion's Share, brought to you by BetMGM. And Coach James Young is in the house as we get ready for tonight. All right, Coach, let's go. Before we get to your plays, let's go through a few things quickly. First of all, we get through the weekend, 8 games, 8 game ones. The home teams won every single game, Coach. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, it helps serve a little bit too much here, but we'll see tonight. I think things can get interesting. We'll talk a little bit about Orlando, who got off to a terrible start. A lot of these road teams got off to bad starts, right? Orlando got off to a bad start. Lakers kind of faded a little bit. Obviously, Miami, terrible first quarter. Milwaukee and Indiana didn't look ready to play in the first half. So let's see if these teams, especially these younger teams in the playoffs for the first time, let's see if they rebound after not really playing well, particularly early in their games.
I know it wasn't terribly high scoring, Coach, but I actually thought the Pelican Thunder game last night was the best game of the weekend. I know it had the best finish because it was close late, and you had a big block from Chet, big bucket from SGA, and even at the end, McCollum missing that 3. He had a chance there, but I thought that was the best game of the whole weekend.
Best game, most competitive. I think I had more lead changes in that game than all the other games of the weekend combined.
Probably.
So, which is crazy. So, and that's what you expect. But Carver, you don't expect that in a 1-8 matchup. But New Orleans, particularly if McCollum and Brandon Ingram could play well, even without Zion, if they could shorten the game and make it a defensive battle and not let Oklahoma City get up and down the floor, then they could be in these games. That's why I thought the 9.5-point spread was probably a little bit too much.
A little too much indeed. We're going to keep our eye on it as that series keeps on going. All right, Magic tonight in Cleveland for game number 2. Didn't get it done. Trailing pretty much the whole day, Saturday afternoon. Do the Magic get back involved tonight?
I think they do. It's not one of my plays, but I think I'm going to take them plus the points. Listen, Evan Mobley hits 2 threes in the first 4 minutes. That don't happen. Donovan Mitchell shoots a 3 out of the sky. It came back down. It came out of the screen, and he swished it, right? Magic were awful, besides Banchero. And that's the only problem with Orlando Carver High is besides Banchero, do they have a guy that can go get a bucket? Franz Wagner, that's not his game. And Jalen Suggs shooting 16 shots, way too much. Jamal Mosley, calm them down, get a half-court game. I think they should be in it tonight. I think the series is going 6 or 7, and I think Orlando can actually come out with a split with a win tonight.
Big game of runs between the Knicks and the Sixers on Saturday night. So if Philly get out hot, Knicks blasted them in the second quarter, Philly blasted them in the third quarter. Knicks are able to come back and close the deal. And really, Coach, with not the normal production from Brunson and DiVincenzo, tonight, game number 2 at home, do the Knicks serve home court and take 2-0 back to Philly?
I think so. And one thing I'll say right now is this, is I do think the Knicks are going to play with a little bit more pace. So look at their team total. I think it's like 107.5. Maybe look, they can go over. They can't play a half-court game with Philadelphia. Philadelphia, that's what they want to play with Embiid. I think the Knicks get on transition, try to get some easy buckets. Brunson does not shoot 8 for 26. DiVincenzo will be better. But on the flip side, Miles McBride is not going to give you 21 points. And you're not going to get Josh Hart hitting 4 threes, including 3 in the fourth quarter. So I think you get offensive production more of the guys you expect. But on the flip side, what do we get out of someone like Tobias Harris, who's been terrible in the first game and has a track record of not being well in the playoffs? Also, Nick Batum, can they give them some points off the bench?
What'd you think of Embiid? Because it's tough, Coach. Like, leaves the game, you know he's hurting. Then he's got the thing with the eye at the end of the game. He's been walking around New York City with glasses on for 2 days. I don't know what to believe with Embiid, and I don't know what you're going to get out of him in any of these games.
Part of me thinks he is hurt, but part of this is a little bit of like WWE storyline, right? Like, you know, the guy that kind of like, he got a busted eye, he's got a busted knee, and then his points prop is 30.5 points tonight. Here's the thing. If Embiid goes inside, he's a problem. When he goes to the perimeter against Mitchell Robinson, who can bang with him, that's when he loses it a little bit. The key thing is this, and I still maintain this, I said over the weekend, if Sixers had won game 1, I still think they would have sat Embiid with 2 days off after tonight. Would have been a 5-day rest in between games 1 and game 3.
Yeah, they ain't doing that now, that's for sure.
Nope.
As far as the Lakers and the Nuggets go, Coach, I saw all I need to see on Saturday night. The Nuggets are going to clean them out again. Maybe the Lakers will win a game at home or something like that, but they're just that much better. The Lakers got 32 from AD and 27 from LeBron, and they still lost by 10 plus.
Well, the problem is this. D'Angelo Russell turns into a pumpkin when the playoffs start. Yeah. He can't make a shot. You got Gabe Vincent you gave all that money to playing 8 minutes. So to me, it's very simple, Carvi, and I'm going to talk about this later. And I'll say it now. I would think the Nuggets in the second half, Lakers are going to put all their energy in the first half to have that leader be close. And then Denver in that mile high, Carvi, just like they did all last year in that series, they're going to pull away in the second half.
Let's get to your lion's share plays for tonight, Coach. You have some player props for us. Let's roll through them here, baby. What do you got for me?
I'm going to first start off with Kelly Oubre to go over 12.5 points plus assists on BetMGM, up to 13.5. Now, it was 11 out of his last 15 went over this. 7 out of 8 versus the Knicks. I think a little bit of regression from Embiid. I think Maxey is obviously ill, so who's going to pick up the scoring? Kelly Oubre plays well against the Knicks. Kelly Oubre over 13.5 points plus assists.
Let's go to Cleveland and Orlando again now. And what do we got here? Do we have a Wagner brother?
We have a Wagner brother, but the one that comes off the bench. Mo Wagner over 7.5 points. Over 11 out of his last 15. 7 out of 8 versus Cleveland. 10 in game number 1. They need to find some kind of scoring a little bit. I know people are big on Jonathan Isaac. I am not. I like Mo Wagner over 7.5 points.
And finally, late night for the Lakers and the Nuggets. Can we get some help in the secondary and tertiary guys for the Lakers?
Well, they need to, because if it's D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura, they are not getting it done. So I'm going to go to Taurean Prince, over 6.5 points plus assists, over 10 of his last 15, 11 in game number 1, 8 out of 12 versus Denver. Denver wants to run. So where do you go? You go and get bench guys who could score and knock down a couple of shots. Taurean Prince, over 6.5 points plus assists.
There you go. Only 3 games tonight, Coach. We'll have 3 more tomorrow night. One of those I wanted to bring up with you quickly while I got a minute left with you. I was very impressed with Minnesota on Saturday.
Yeah.
I really was. You know, I thought the Suns, obviously having those big guys in there, you get the playoff time. Maybe they do kind of like what Dame did for the Bucks last night. The Timberwolves aren't scared at all of the Phoenix Suns. And they showed them that on Saturday. And Phoenix is going to be in a lot of trouble in this series.
They could be, because they can't stop Anthony Edwards. And then if you look at the fact that Rudy Gobert, who got in a foul trouble with 14 and 16, if he could dominate the boards like he did and outplay Yusuf Nurkic, that's a problem. And here's the problem with Phoenix, folks. Besides the big 3, if they all don't go off, where is the scoring? Grayson Allen, terrible. Nurkic, terrible. Only 14 from Royce O'Neal off the bench. They need more guys to score and not land on a big 3. And remember, Booker was bad, too, in game number 1.
He was bad, that's for sure. Edwards was excellent with that 30-point game he had on Saturday afternoon for Minnie. All right, Coach, enjoy the games tonight. We'll see you in a couple days back here on The Lion's Share, brought to you by BetMGM. Coach James Young in the house. We're back coast to coast right after this.
The Lion's Share, presented by BetMGM.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10 plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
I mean, they're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, you know, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
And we are back, Ferrall, coast to coast here on a Monday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. Of course, Davis Maddock is with us every day on Coast to Coast. Fantasy Sports Today as well on Saturday mornings here on the grid. Davis, good to see you as always, my man. Happy Monday to you. We have a lot to accomplish and not a lot of time to do it. I want to start with this because this is going to lead into your Oriole play for tonight. And that was the Yankees losing 2-0 to the A's at the stadium this afternoon. And look, I know everybody got excited over the first couple of weeks, and the record still looks good. That's 2 shutouts in the last 3 games. Overall, if you look in the last 7 to 10, haven't really been scoring a lot of runs in that entire stretch. You take you plop Soto in there, and it makes it look nice. But without him, it's really the same lineup as last year that doesn't hit, as far as I'm concerned, Davis. That's what it is.
I mean, and I think they've gotten much better pitching results than they would have expected at the beginning of the season as well. So yeah, Soto, great hitter. They're getting the sort of second-year leap from Anthony Volpe, but they're getting like very good starts from Clark Schmidt and Nestor Cortez, guys who I expect to be much closer to league average the rest of the season. Pretty much everyone who has started a game for the Yankees this season has been above league average, at least in terms of K rate and of their ERA plus, so just their ERA indicators relative to the league. I am not buying the Yankees, winning this division.
No, and look, they got brilliant starts from Cortez on Saturday and Rodon today, and they didn't score runs in either of them. It's just you got to be able to help out when you're getting numbers like that. And you mentioned division, and that's where I was going to transition to the Orioles. You still get the Orioles at plus 200 at BetMGM to win the American League East. How? How, Davis? Plus 200 for the Orioles to win the division. Run and get it.
I mean, not only
going to be there forever.
Yeah, not only are they a good bet to win the division, I think they're a good bet to win the World Series because they are doing this run right now without having called up, all the horses. They have multiple guys down in the minor leagues who could come up and for sure play better than Austin Hayes, probably better. I mean, O'Hearn has had this crazy start to the year, so I don't think they're desperate to send him down or make him a bench bat. And Jackson Holliday has not started hitting at all yet. I think probably the move will be Holliday's going to go back down to AAA for some more seasoning. He's probably not quite ready yet. He's taken 2 walks and struck out 16 times thus far in his short Major League Baseball career. But Corbin Burns has been all that's been promised. I think that probably the biggest thing they've gotten from last year is Grayson Rodriguez at age 24 went from being, he's this great prospect, he's going to get these results, and now it looks like he is just going to get these results. Now the walks are down, the strikeouts are up, the exit velocity's down. I mean, he just is having a really strong season, and that's huge for them.
They are in Anaheim tonight against the Angels, late night game. As they played well this weekend in Kansas City, now they go further out west. They're going to face Detmers tonight. They're minus 105 against Detmers, David. What are we doing here? The Angels are a slight favorite against the Orioles?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think it's really as simple to me as the Angels have a very mediocre lineup with like 2 above average hitters in the entire thing. Detmers is a fine pitcher. I'm not trying to disgrace the fine name of Reed Detmers, but if I'm getting the Orioles at close to pick 'em kind of in any of these spots where they don't have their best pitcher on the mound, but they definitely have the hitting advantage, I mean, I'm just going to be on the Orioles in those spots a huge chunk of the time. And the Angels bullpen has not been all that strong either. So this was a spot that immediately leapt out to me.
To the NBA playoffs, me and Coach were just talking about the Lakers and the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are just going to clean them out in this series after what I saw on Saturday night. This was 7 a couple minutes ago. This was 7 when I looked at it with Coach. It's 6.5 right now. Lakers Nuggets for you, Davis. What do you have?
Yeah, this is my favorite play of the day, the Denver Nuggets here. So the Lakers, I don't really know what wrinkle they would be able to throw that would make me feel differently about this game. I saw some people speculating they might take one of Jared Vanderbilt or Max Christie from a DNP CD in game 1 to starting in game 2 over D'Angelo Russell. I mean, getting Russell out of the lineup does help them because it would just mean LeBron is on the ball. You go all in on defense. You go all in on trying to be bigger than the Nuggets. The problem is, I mean, how many teams are going to be bigger than Nikola Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon? You just really are not going to be able to get away with it. It's a total nightmare matchup for the Lakers. So going back to last week, we can see why people were saying maybe you do tank that first game of the play-in and you get to go up against Oklahoma City, who just gave up 20 rebounds to Jonas Valanciunas in game 1. The Lakers would have, I mean, to be honest, I'm rooting for the Thunder. They would have a way better chance of beating the Thunder than the Nuggets. The Nuggets just have no weaknesses that the Lakers can exploit. Really, I mean, I think the Lakers' only way of competing in these games is LeBron, like being like Miami LeBron, and I just don't know if he can do that anymore.
That was a good live hit for me last night, Davis. When Valanciunas had 6 boards, they were hanging a really juicy number for him to get 15, and we ran to the window and we got that one. He ended up with the 20. The Sixers are looking to even the series with the Knicks at the Garden tonight. They're catching 5.5, but I think you want to go bigger than that.
I do. I'm just taking the 76ers money line. Like, to me, this one feels like a rather large overreaction to game one. I mean, the 76ers with Embiid and Tyrese Maxey on the court, those lineups are among some of like the 10 best two-man combos in the entire NBA. Maxey, great player, but Embiid, it's all about the big fella. If the big fella gives me 40 healthy minutes tonight, no disrespect to JY's New York Knicks, no disrespect to Thibodeau, no disrespect to 48-minute Dante DiVincenzo, but you're just not going to stop a freight train Embiid. I don't think so. 76ers underdog money line tonight.
I did see that Maxey is questionable
yes.
with some flu or some stomach issues or some illness, whatever's going on with him. If he's out there tonight, that line probably move a little bit, and that money line number is going to move as well. Davis, great job as always. We will see you back here tomorrow on Coast to Coast. Davis Maddock, of course, Fantasy Sports Today on Saturday mornings as well. We're back Coast to Coast on the Grid right after this.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Ferrall Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed
And we are back. Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Monday. Carver High and the Prime Minister, Cam Stewart, here with you for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio, going through the deep list of pairs at the Zurich Classic this week. Johnny Vegas and Bronson Burgoon teeing it up together. That'll be That'll be a first-round leader bomb. I can guarantee you that on Wednesday here on Coast to Coast. All right, Cam, let's get to tonight with the hockey. We'll start with the Islanders, who, as we mentioned, their awful penalty kill did them in again. A 3-1 loss with the empty netter to the Canes. Canes are minus 250 tonight. For Game 2, the Islanders are plus 2 Bills. The total's 5.5. I think it's an under game again, Cam, obviously, but I just got to hope I didn't think they played poorly the other night. And I think if they play like that again, and maybe the whistle's a little bit different, and maybe they can find a way to get a couple past Freddie Anderson. I'll take the 2 Bills with the Isles tonight.
So will I. I'll also take the plus 1.5. I know it's dangerous with the empty netter. I can't help myself. I thought the Islanders got jobbed on a couple calls in that game, and they had their chances. Let's give Freddie Anderson credit. I bet you one thing, the Leafs wish we had Freddie Anderson now instead of the slugs that we put in the net now. Guy's unbelievable. Blood clots. Now he's playing the best hockey of his life. Unbelievable stuff.
I know. I sound super confident about the Islander pick, don't I?
I'm on him too, Carver. Bottom line is,
200.
Listen, me and you, both our teams are down 1. We expect a split. We can't get on. It's almost like we just got to keep to the system. If we lose, we lose. We got to bet them.
Speaking of the Leafs, we played a cut earlier of Nick Nurse about what's going on with Embiid. Is he okay? It's actually worse with William Nylander. I don't think anybody knows what's going on with William Nylander, Cam, right now. So will Sheldon Keefe draw any light on what's going on with William Nylander? Probably not. Here he is.
William been able to skate since you guys have been here?
No updates on Willie.
How is he holding up, Sheldon? Obviously, I'm not sure how much you've talked to him, but it's got to be pretty tough. You play the whole year and you're out. What's your sense of how he's dealing with this?
No updates on Willie.
No updates on Willie. Thanks, Coach, for coming.
Yeah.
Cam, you're up there. What do people think is going on with Willie? What exactly is going on with him?
He's going to play. In my opinion, he's going to play tonight. I know he's banged up. You got to throw him out there. Here's the deal. I disagree with Keefe on a lot of things. I start Wall. I know Samsonov, it wasn't his fault the last game. I think he's a better goalie. And another thing, take a look at this, Carver. Matthews, less points in the playoffs. Marner, Tavares, Nylander, Riley. The top 5 guys in regular season play, all with lower numbers in the postseason. How about you step up your damn game? That's why you're the best players on the team. Enough is enough. Let's go.
I don't disagree with you, Cam. That's got a lot to do with it there. Those guys the last few years, even in the win last year in the first round against Tampa, you didn't see it, and then they all fell off against Florida in that second round. Bruins are minus 145 now here this evening. Leafs plus $1.20. 5.5 is the total. I like the over tonight, Cam. Again, I know it got barely squeaked by the other night, and I'm going with Austin. I just got to. He got to score. He ain't gonna usually go 2 or 3 games without scoring a goal. He didn't score the last 2 games of the regular season. He didn't score Game 1 on Saturday night. I got a feeling we get ourselves Austin Matthews. It's minus $1.15. Usually you want a little bit more than that for a goal scorer, but I think that Matthews will score. I'll probably put it with the golf or something tonight, Cam. That's what I'll do. I'll probably parlay Matthews to score with Bronson Burgoon and Johnny Vegas to be first-round leader at the Zurich.
That sounds like a Carver Lisi bomb right there. I'm going to tell you, I like over 2.5 shots with Bertuzzi. I think he's going to be a key tonight, and I like Marner to actually get points in this game too. If Matthews gets a goal, I think Marner's going to have a multiple-point game there for Toronto. I like the over as well. Give me the Leafs. Begrudgingly, they lose this game. Might as well just say another playoff disappointment, and I just keep on coming back to get slapped around every year.
You know what they say, Cam. The series hasn't really begun until a team loses a home game. That's what matters. So you got those games in Toronto that'll come after.
Boy.
How about this? Leafs win tonight, Cam. For you, Leafs win. I'm more confident.
How about the Islanders and Leafs winning
than I am? That would be great for not just for us, but for hockey, because we want these series to go long. But I have more confidence in the Leafs winning tonight than I do the Islanders. Believe it or not,
I have more confidence in the Islanders. Believe it or not, that's so crazy.
Yeah, you could tell who's the fan of which team by listening to that from both of us right there. You can tell. We have another hour to go. Hour number 3. Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Monday. Carver High and Cam in for Scotty. We're back right after this.